Funny. Oh, were you crying?
No, I'm just looking at you in the camera. You're so beautiful.
Thank you.
This
is my husband, Michael. Interracial.
Yes, black and Italian.
No, that's not your race. That's your ethnicity. Oh, Scooja, you just learned something, Scooja.
Most people don't consider me white.
I never say you're white.
So there's a question. Do you consider me white? Because that's a good one. Many people I've met in my life don't consider Italians white.
I consider you white, but whenever I am like talking about my husband or whatever, I say my husband's Italian. And most people equate that with white. Not many people are like, oh, black Italian or anything like that. So I'm just like, oh, my husband's Italian. So when people ask you, what's your wife, do you say she's German? Or do you say she's black?
There's a light right here, so I might look a little paler than normal guys. I'm actually not far off from her. Right? Look at it. Because the light's making you bright. I'm not that far off from you.
Ooh, the light's making it bright. Okay.
I like to play around. In my mind, I always hope that they see the kids first. So they can say something like, is your kid mixed? And I could be like, no.
Do you want to talk about how we met?
So I was walking along a trail, and I just got to Texas. There's a trail in Oklahoma, and this woman was dangling off of a cliff.
Okay. So, anyway.
Tell them how have we met?
We met on Tinder. We say that we're going to come up with a better story, but we met on Tinder. Yeah. So.
Swiping left and right.
I don't remember who swiped right first. Do you know who did it first? When you swiped, did you automatically get the message? Or did I get the message?
I reached out to you.
I know, but like, you know how you're swiping on Tinder and then like if the other person already swiped.
You liked me already.
I might have. This is the picture that I liked on Tinder.
You're going to show the picture?
I'm going to show it. Because it was misleading. It was a misleading picture.
What picture was it?
Because it wasn't like, so the picture looked one way, and then when I met you, it was a little different. It wasn't too different. And then Michael reached out to me via message, and so then we started talking like that. And then how many days later before we went on like a date? Well, we met each other. Let's not call it a date. How many days later?
It wasn't a date because you definitely gave me the cold shoulder.
How did I give you the cold shoulder?
Because you just wanted to be my friend.
We're not talking about that yet. We're talking about days from Tinder, swipe right, you've matched, to when we went to Napoli's to eat and to the movies.
I don't know. I would say it probably was at least maybe a week or two. Because we talked for several days. I know that.
Yeah. But anyways, so we met. We went to Napoli's. We went to the movies. Then I was going through some personal things, so I told him that we could just be friends or whatever. But that's not the point of today's message. Today, we're talking about being in an interracial relationship. BGWM. BW.
Yeah,
WM.
What was black girl. Okay,
yeah, whatever it is. Hashtag whatever it is for interracial relationships. Swirl love. It's really weird because I've always been in interracial, not always. For the most part, I've been in interracial relationships. My daughter's dad is white. My sister always told me that I needed to marry a white guy. That's what she said. She said that because she's white. We can say that. After Tiana was born and I had already had a biracial baby, I knew... And it might sound sad, but I knew that I wanted to continue to be in an interracial relationship.
Well, lucky me.
So that she wouldn't feel left out.
That's good. I'm glad. I don't know how to respond to that. I'm glad that you didn't want to be left out. Gave me hope in life.
Because we grew up completely different.
Where I grew up in New Jersey, there weren't many white people present except for my family, which honestly I didn't really get along with them that much.
Hey, sit down and be quiet.
See that in Camden, New Jersey area. I lived in the outskirts, but I spent most of my time there. most of my friends while growing up were not of the Caucasus background, and therefore most of the women that I dated or messed with weren't of the Caucasus background. And Caucasian women got upset with me about that. They would be like, why? Why not? And I'm like, eh.
So I was dating a white guy in high school, and I would get comments from the other black kids in the school like, oh, she don't mess with black dudes, or why are you wasting your time with that white dude, or something like that.
Until I joined the Marine Corps, I really didn't have a lot of white friends and stuff until I met Dave when I was in the Marine Corps, which honestly, we owe our entire relationship to him, technically.
That's a different story for a different time. I grew up around white people. My parents are from South Central LA, and so we didn't live pretty much in African American neighborhoods. I wasn't even really exposed to any like African American traditions or like historical stuff until I went to college, because I went to HBCU. Xavier, shout out.
Growing up, I was at all the barbecues and I was playing spades and dominoes at 12.
No, I was at like country clubs and plays.
But like cheerleader prissy life, like the white life.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a race problem with you. I've had a race problem with my ex, with Piglet, because there was a race problem there because she was racist. You're not racist.
It's weird.
As long as you're not racist, like deep down inside, that you're like pushing away until you get angry at your significant other. Now, it's about the questions you receive from your friends, because I know that she probably gets not anymore, because she's, I don't know how many new people you meet, because I don't know if black women ask black women, but like white men, they ask other white men when they find out your wife's black. There's always a racist comment, or there's always undercover racist comments, and like you find out things about people because you're accepted as like the guy that's just white, and then they find out that you have a black wife, and comments change completely because, like, I don't know how I'm wording this. I'm probably wording it wrong.
No, you're making sense.
When white people see white people, they just assume,
they're with another white person.
I'm with you.
Same thing.
We can say the same jokes around each other and talk negatively about certain things.
Yeah.
And I don't tell people my wife's black. First of all, who just says that, right?
Yeah, because nobody walks around and they're like, hey, my wife's white. Hi, I'm Mike. My wife is white. Yeah, so why would you go up and say, hey, I'm Mike. My wife is black?
But here's the funny part, though. A lot of people, though, will ask me after knowing me at a new job or something for like X number of time, is your wife black? And I'll be like, that's really random. Yes, but why? And they're like, you just seem like that. I've had that.
People don't ever ask me if my husband's white until they see a picture of the kids. So usually if I'm like, oh yeah, these are my kids, and they'll say, oh, what are they mixed with? And I'm like, my husband's white. Men also ask weirder questions of each other, though. I'm saying men would actually ask that, like, yo, you're white, black. Do you feel weird when I bring you like to events that are just all black people and you're the only white person?
No, it's how I grew up.
You think it's because, probably because you grew up around.
You know how many times? Here's one. When I was younger, my friends took me to the Bronx at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I walked into like a Jamaican club where it was like really beating drums, and I wasn't even the only white person in there. There wasn't even light-skinned people in there. Like, I stuck out like you have no idea. 3 a.m., middle of New York, and I just had fun. So, I mean, I'm used to that. It doesn't bother me at all. I really, really, really don't see color.
Everyone sees color. You may not act on color, but everyone sees color.
I was raised differently.
All right. I don't agree. Okay. Despite how anyone was raised, there's no way that people can't see color. Even the most Christian, of holy person, of sanctified, whatever, you may not act on color, but you still see color.
Obviously, I visually see color. Like, I can identify that you're not white or you're not black. That, yes. But I don't see color.
So you've never had a conversation where you're describing someone and you say the white guy or the black girl or
that's called identifying. If there's a group of people,
but if you don't see it, then you just say you would refer to them by something else. You would say the girl with the short hair that had on this or
I'll
something
say that
like
stuff
that.
too. The thing is, I don't feel awkward about color. I don't.
Okay, there we go. So you don't feel awkward about color, not that you don't see color. We don't talk about some racial issues in our house because I know that it's going to start a problem.
Let's rewind that.
Okay.
She doesn't like to talk about that stuff. I want to.
I
feel like it'd be better for us to talk about.
Black shootings, incarceration, like different plights of the African American. I just feel like we're not going to be on the same page on it, so we just don't. We just don't talk about it.
She assumes off the get-go that we're not going to be in the same, plight. I don't know what that means.
No, plight is like the problems, the difficulties that you have growing up as like an African American is different from growing up as a white person because you don't have.
And she just explained to you that she grew up more as a white person, and I grew up more in the African American side. So therefore, I know what their life is like.
That doesn't mean that because I moved neighborhoods that suddenly I could get rid of my blackness. Like the stuff that happens to black people still happens to me before I even open my mouth or say this is where I live or this is who I'm married to or these are who my kids are. Those things happened to me
a little bit because of where I was at and who I was with. She won't even go see the movie Get Out with me.
No.
Like, she won't even see a movie that involves racism.
I don't want to see no slavery movies.
Racism.
I don't want to see Get Out. What's the other one that have
The Hate You Give or something?
Yeah, we can't see The Hate You Give together because it feels like it's different. You can be in an interracial relationship and say, what's the difference? Empathy and sympathy. One of them you can feel because you've been there, and the other one you can feel just because you know how to feel sorry for a person.
Not being able to talk about that with me.
Why would I purposely put us in a situation that we're going to have an argument if I can avoid the argument?
That's the thing. You expect that we will. Therefore, you avoid the conversation in general.
True.
But the possibility of it doesn't mean you should avoid it because then you're avoiding it off of possibilities.
50-50 chance. If something 50-50, those probabilities aren't looking too good. But you know what that also means?
That means you're also avoiding altercation based on it.
Okay.
Sometimes altercation is good. Sometimes it helps you open your mind up.
No extra altercations.
That is what helps build. If we were both a microcosm of the black and white community, listen, if we were both, if that's what this was, there would be no coming together because oh my gosh, listen to what's happening right here. This is America right now. So she don't even want to talk with me about it, right? Therefore, we can't communicate about it. But that's how it is because black.
How are we going to raise our kids?
As Italian Americans.
As Americans.
Italian Americans.
Our kids aren't at the age yet where they've started asking about color. Well, one of them is. The oldest is, and he recognizes brown skin, white skin, black, white. Our daughter asks about the like you or like me or like her, like me type questions. But for some reason, every time she refers to like herself, if she sees pictures, she'll say, that girl looks like me. And it'll be like a white lady with blonde hair. I'm like, what? I don't look like you.
She's pretty pale.
Not that much. I'm going to need to start pointing out some other things. What this means is that companies need to start having some more biracial ads. So I'm going to just throw that out there for the companies. They're putting in every block on financial aid.
Oh, no, I'm down with that. Yeah. And college applications. They're black.
But our kids are going to an HBCU.
I didn't tell them what they're going to. Morehouse, right?
Yeah, it's in Moore. Not
you know there's a white guy there?
Yeah, it's not like a
like
thing.
One.
No, it's not. My HBCU had white people at it.
There's a Vice episode about that. Side note, it doesn't matter. It's about one of them children up there that he ain't going to be in college. He's going to be a sports guy. I can tell you which one's the sports one.
Corbin.
A little short one. He'll go to college because, but he ain't going to an HBCU. When the last time an HBCU was the #1 school for getting drafted to the NFL? He's going to like Auburn or Alabama or LSU or UCLA.
This is true.
UCLA, yeah, stuff like that. Oklahoma,
USC,
yeah.
Texas.
Now Junior and Tiana, they can go to whatever they want to go to. They gonna go be doctors and whatever.
Sometimes whenever I take our kids to the store, people think that I'm the nanny. Not for Junior and for Corbin, but for Tiana, because she's got blonde hair. And she's a little bit more fair-skinned. Make it purposeful that I say, yes, my daughter.
Better be careful.
Baby, or something like that, so they know that she's mine.
Hopefully she doesn't discipline them in public.
Why?
I think you're a random woman beating white children.
People always ask me if I'm their mom. Do people ever ask you that?
No, they be like, he's so cute.
They're really like, oh, those kids mix with something. That's what they're really saying.
Yeah, I can't. Are the stereotypes true? Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about some typical black-white questions. Ready? Macaroni and cheese. Is it a side dish or a meal?
It depends on how it's made.
No.
If it's just mac and cheese, it's a side dish. But if you do it like the restaurants do sometimes, where they throw a little chicken in there,
so
or
have to put meat in it for it to be a meal?
Then you have to add the protein.
Okay, wait. So we agree that macaroni and cheese is a side dish,
depending on its preparation.
Okay, it's a side dish. Yeah. Okay. If you make pot roast, with the potatoes and the carrots and stuff, is that the whole meal, or do you need sides?
That's the whole meal.
No, you need sides.
Some rice, maybe.
Rice with pot roast? No, you're supposed to eat greens and cornbread.
Well, yeah, greens, yeah. Now to think about it.
And then you have the potatoes and the stuff like that. Okay, what's another black-white question? Chitterloins.
No.
Chitlins.
No.
Neck bones.
No.
Pig feet.
No.
Fried chicken.
Yes.
Gumbo.
Sometimes.
Cow tongue.
No.
Greens.
Yes.
Packaged,
pre-packaged turkey.
No.
Deviled eggs.
No, I don't like deviled eggs.
Mayonnaise.
I don't like mayonnaise. I like Miracle Whip.
I'll be honest, but I like the olive oil mayonnaise. Caviar.
No.
Escargot.
No. What stereotypes?
I don't know. Whatever white stereotypes you've heard in your life, are they true?
He don't know how to season no food. I make the Kool-Aid.
All right, hold on.
I'm just playing.
She does not smell like cocoa butter.
We use cocoa butter, though.
You don't smell like it,
cocoa butter gel.
Oh, you big baller.
Gotta step your game up. So you don't have to mix the lotion and the cocoa butter together. You get the cocoa butter gel. Oil gel.
And no, you cannot touch your hair.
Yes, you can.
Now I can because it's dreaded up.
It depends on how my hair is. So how did you like it when I had long weave in my hair?
I loved it. I love your braids.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tracks, extensions.
Yes, when you had the long braids in your head.
Those weren't tracks. Those are braids.
But they weren't your hair.
Okay. And now you like my dreads?
I've fallen for them.
Which hairstyle do you like better? The best.
I've fallen in love with your dreads. So now the dreads, because it's been so long. Because it's just you now. I've gotten used to being you. In the beginning, I didn't like your dreads that much.
Is it because I was in the in-between stage and there's little babies and I couldn't do anything
with it? No, because I was coming to the realization that you couldn't switch your hair up. Because I like the fact that you could be like braids and then whatever.
Interracial swirl up.
Yeah, you could do that. But then I was like, oh, that's because once you go dreads until you shave it all off.
Yeah, that's coming next. Not soon. I haven't decided.
Unless you dread it forever.
I don't know. We'll see.
But then again, you're not angry and loud. You're beautiful and caring.
I think I am. I think someone can make me upset enough. I can be. Which makes it difficult. Like, it's hard that I have to, like, live in a double consciousness, or a triple consciousness, actually, because I'm a woman and I'm black and just regular. Whatever. That, like, if something goes wrong at a restaurant, I have to think twice. Is it something that I really want to complain about, or am I just going to come off as an angry black woman? But, like, I have completely earned the right to be angry because you messed up my food.
It's true saying.
So it's a difficult balance.
Yeah. Do I have stereotypes? I don't know. What are white stereotypes?
He doesn't smell like a wet dog. Unless he just came from the gym. Then he smells like a wet dog.
That's a stereotype that white people smell like
Yes.
wet dogs? Well, I'm Italian. I'm Italian, so we have different stereotypes. Do I talk with my hands?
So
yes.
let's get the nose.
Yeah, it's from the front that I look attractive, not from the side. I feel like I fit all the Italian stereotypes, though, so forget about it, you know? Like, where we're from in New Jersey, you're either racist or you're not racist. Like, and my family's not racist. My dad was feeding homeless people and hanging out on the streets of Camden and Philly since God knows when. I mean, he let a black man live with his son that was homeless while I was 3 and let me like hang out with him. I think he trusts people. Because that could have been a very bad decision.
Yeah.
It probably was though, because he influenced.
My parents don't really have, or my family don't really have an issue with me dating outside of my race. Let me not lie. I did have one cousin who, when she and I got into it one day, made a comment that I must not be comfortable in my own skin with the fact that I am dating someone or married to or have been with someone outside of my race. But other than that, the rest of my family pretty much doesn't care. That doesn't mean that there aren't a few jokes cracked at like holidays or something like that, but it's not ever been an issue.
Deep down inside. I'm sure deep down inside there's someone in their family.
Who, my dad, and he's like, those daughters are supposed to marry someone that's like their father, and evidently I set the wrong image for what a black man is supposed to be. I totally just stole that.
I'm just a really good black man.
I just stole that line from the Hate You Give. And I said, no, Daddy, you show me what a man should be.
She says I am her father. So.
He is. White, black, Mexican, Asian. He act like my dad. Just like him. They blow their nose the same way. They cough the same way. Aching body joints and bones and stuff all the same way. The same. I know. So what do you have to say to young people who are interested in dating outside of their race?
Do it, but don't do it just to do it, though. Like, let it happen. If it happens, it happens, but don't purposely date outside your race. Does that make sense? Because if you try to do it on purpose, then you're actually, then race actually is a part of it. It should only work because race isn't a thing. Like,
yeah, like love people. And if the person that you happen to fall in love with is of a different race, or if you find yourself attracted to somebody else that's of a different race, then like, go for it. Who cares what anybody else thinks?
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's just y'all. And
your kids.
Yeah.
All these kids. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just you guys.
I have an extremely comfortable life. I need nobody outside of the 4 walls of my house. So I don't care what people think.
That's good. You know.
You hear that? That's who I do it for.
Yeah. So we're going to get back to lifing. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Adios.